Because we have to be sure that, yes, otherwise we're filming this part of so.
Não, aqui só tá dizendo que eu tô vendo no Facebook da tarde, certo? No Facebook da tarde diz que amanhã vai cancelar a Lisboa. Mas acho que é bom ligar, né?
A conexão não é boa.
O que é de Fortaleza? Não, menino, mas amanhã não tem nada de Lisboa. Não tem.
Sempre atrasar. Não pegar e quebra todo.
Não, mas a gente tem bastante tempo para chegar em Lisboa. O dia inteiro para chegar em Lisboa.
I'm going to take you from that. It's a sign.
Sem terminar aqui, foi embora.
Well, we're going to start. Today we are starting with Kiev Gama, who comes from University of
Centro de Informática, Federal University of Pernambuc.
I mixed the. I promise that I will learn the geographic organization of Brazil so that I can be more comfortable on that. So he's presenting the efforts done in Recife for smart cities, and we're very interested on that because that way we will know how to couple our efforts with you guys. Be welcome again to Grenoble.
Thank you. Okay, good morning, everyone. First of all, thanks to Genevieve and Placido for inviting me. I did my PhD here, I finished in 2011 under the direction of Didier Donzé. And that's the first time I'm back to Grenoble. And I'm going to be talking about the ecosystem in our city, Recife, and about the challenges that we have over there. If we have challenges in developed countries for smart cities, in developing countries, it's even harder. So we're going to see a bit of them. And we're going to talk about many projects concerning that domain, that's a new buzzword in the market, which is smart cities. But actually it's just trying to apply ICTs on urban environments. So, well, that's our perspective. I'm going to explore a little bit other perspectives as well. But first of all, let's start with the information technology ecosystem in Recife. So I'm going to be talking about some institutions that are part of this ecosystem. The Centro de Informática, which is the it's the equivalent of the LIG, I would say, something like the center that teaches 3 different graduate courses on the information technology domain, and also a graduate school. CESAR, which is a research institute that was originated from that center. A digital technological park called Porto Digital also is part of the initiatives that originated on the Centro de Informática. INES, which is the National Institute for Software Engineering, which we are affiliated. Another institution that was originated from INES, EASY, it's ISI, it's a new institute focused on industry. And well, I'll briefly enumerate some local universities just to understand our ecosystem and how these initiatives are going together. So it's perhaps a bit long story, but perhaps you understand later what I'm going to try to say. So first of all, let's briefly talk about the about CIn. It's the Centro de Informática. It's part of the Federal University of Pernambuc, which is where I come from. And this is one of the prizes that we're really proud that we received. This is a president of Brazil and the former director of CIn that we won the Innovation Award, and we were the first higher education institution to have this award. Usually, it is given to centers that do research, not necessarily educational centers, not necessarily universities. We are the first one. So we're going to see that there's a lot of efforts concerning this this line of I would say acting. It's research focused on the market, so that's why we were awarded with that. This is a bit of the what we call a successful history based on the principles that guide the center and different activities that are the main axis: teaching, research, and business. It's not usual for universities doing business, but we try to foster the community and foster the market for innovation. So there's a lot of startups that were originated from the university, and also the whole ecosystem around information technology was originated from the university. So we have many principles that guide us on that quest for continuous improvement, relevance, quality, and challenges, and cohesion of the team that makes our center. So we have 3 undergraduate courses: computer science, computer engineering, and information system. Our information systems coordinator is here, Bernadette. And this is ranked usually as the top universities on the Brazilian guides for students that want to choose their undergraduate course. So we are usually on the top 10 universities for those domains. And we foster in an environment of continuous innovation and pursuing challenges. So the students are motivated to participate in competitions. For example, the Imagine Cup. It's usual. I'm not even sure if it still exists. It does. Okay, so it's sponsored by Microsoft, and we have many students that participated, and they were awarded 6 times. One particular project was called the attention of Bill Gates at the time, so we get this picture and we show everyone every time we present this. And there's also the competitions for programming contests that we stimulate students to participate, always with good ranks. We produced, well, if we can call it a product line, we produced more than 1,500 graduate degrees, and currently we have more than 1,000 undergraduate students. And as graduate courses, we have masters in science and PhDs, as well as a sort of thing that would be equivalent in France to a DOSS, which is no longer, it doesn't exist anymore. But we also have what it became the DSS, the Master Po. Over there we have a Master Po as well, focused on the market. And we have also master's programs, inter-institutional, which is institutions from farther cities in the state. We participate giving lectures in local. So, I'm sorry. This is a bit of the highlights on the graduate school. So we are on the national rank of maximum of 7. We are ranked as level 6, and we are the ones that produce most papers with relevant impact on journals and conferences. Many theses that were defended, as already mentioned, as well as masters. Currently, I think we are on over 1,700, and on the masters we are reaching 250. On the PhD, we are reaching 250 already. And there's a lot of connections that we have. We haven't yet got any formal agreement with Grenoble University, but hopefully we can do that. But there are many institutions all over the world that we have projects on North America, Europe, and Asia as well. There are many contexts in which, that's a bit what we do with the projects that usually involve many institutions, like European projects that involve many institutions, also bilateral agreements that foster collaboration among countries. So we have many formats on that. And well, a bit of, it's not actually, it's a non-exhaustive list here, but there are many institutions that have collaborations. And on the domains of computer science, mostly we have pretty much all of the domains covered. Well, there at least most of them actually. We have over 80 PhDs, which are lecturers, and most of them do research. So it's pretty active. It's pretty active community. We have well, many of those that have a productivity grants. It's a national, I would say, award or not exactly an award, but a grant for those that produce a lot of research. They have a good outcome of research. So many of those, they have this this grant, and we also have this collaboration with industry and the stimulation of entrepreneurship among the local market and with the students as well. Many companies were originated from the center. So some of them we're going to be talking here about. These are important actors in the local and national ecosystem of information and communication technology. And also many startup companies that some of them were already bought off by other companies, or either they shut their door. But there's no problem if we originate companies and they shut their door, but we are at least trying that. It's a sort of a movement that started, I guess, 30 years ago, when some of the lecturers over there, they saw, they draw a plan for creating a center of excellence of worldwide quality, I would say, that would be the same level. So the first undergraduate group that was originated from this change, they all left the state. So they didn't stay in the city. So they went to either or to São Paulo and Rio, which are the most rich cities in the country, or they left the country for other companies. So what they did after this movement of improving the quality of the course, they say, we need to keep these people here. So we need to create companies. We need to create a market that would retain these people. So this movement started like 20 years ago, I would say. And so we have many companies originated from that. and we continue trying to produce this. There are also major industrial partners that are involved with research. There's a law in Brazil called Lei de Informática, which is well, the informatics law, which obliges every company that has industries that produce informatics goods, smartphones, computers, laptops, tablet computers, to invest 5% of their revenues on research. So they have to invest in research centers or create their own research centers. So we, as a research institution, we get a lot of that money for research. So I'm not sure about the amount, but it's, I guess, over, in euros, I would say it's around 20 million euros this year. We're going to have in research from these partners. And the most important one is Motorola. Does anybody here have any Motorola phone, smartphone? So your phone was tested over there. So we test phones worldwide. If it's at least a 10-year-old phone, it was tested over there. So we have many companies that we even have non-disclosure agreements. So people working on these projects, they don't leak any information to the market. And some of these contracts, they just happen for a year, and then they finish either because it's not strategically aligned with the companies, either they didn't get results they wanted. But some of those, like Motorola, they keep growing the size of the project because of the good results. But there are many others that are involved in this sort of format. So like here at the University of Grenoble, there's a company called Floralis, which is a sort of proxy with the market. So they can get money from the market and put it in the university. It's the same thing. We have a foundation that it's the sort of proxy with the market, which gets the money from this these sources, and we can hire researchers and people, developers, testers, people that can work on these projects, which are all guided by at least one lecturer at the university must be responsible for this sort of collaboration. So we have many collaborations with industry, so we understand a bit about these needs because of this contact that we keep having with the market. It's a good thing for universities because sometimes we keep trying to invent problems that don't even exist, so we can prove our solutions. And it's a good thing if we get this feedback from the market, so what they need. Sometimes it's hard to make pure research on that because the needs in the market are quite different from the needs from academia. So we need to find a balance on this so both sides can be well, happy with this partnership. So it's a bit about the Centro de Informática, which is the root for this institute called CESAR, which is an institute today for innovation. It was focused on advanced studies in the beginning. And well, I'm just showing the official presentation, institutional presentation from CESAR, which is available on SlideShare, this one. So it's a private center for innovation. It's a lot of, there's a lot of background, academic background, but today they are really focused on innovation in the market. It was originated in the university, was founded by lecturers from the Centro de Informática. And today this company is, well, this institute is spread all over Brazil, but the headquarters are always in Recife, which is the main, well, I would say, source of people and knowledge that they have a partnership with the university. Well, it's a bit far today, but we try to keep this proximity. So we try to make the institute close to the university. It's independent, but the people that are part of CESAR, many of those, they are lecturers of the university. So we try to keep this link between the two institutions. It initially was originated and hosted inside the university, but it grew so much that it needed more space, so it needed to leave the university. So we have a big sort of warehouse in the university that was donated by CESAR. They had, I don't know how many people, but tens of people working there, but the space was no longer enough for their work. And another, well, thing that I'm going to be explaining about Porto Digital was growing in another part of the town, so they need to move. And we use this for our project today. Centro de Informática uses the old warehouse used by CESAR as our infrastructure today for part of our projects. So there are many towns in Brazil that have offices from CESAR, different locations. And the mission is trying continuously to make this link between society and academia, trying to make self-sustainable transfer of knowledge of information technology. And this is pretty much what they keep doing. And today they're creating also graduate courses on design and computer science as well. So you're going to see that there are many institutions in Recife that work on this domain for creating people, educating people on that domain, because there is a demand on the market for more people. So our university is not enough for producing these people. And so what CESAR does is trying to keep this link between society and academia. And a bit of the history is the creation of CESAR at the Centro de Informática, and well, the offices that were created in '97, and the headquarters inauguration at the Centro de Informática, the warehouse I was talking about. And on 2002, they moved to a technological park that was created in Recife called Porto Digital. And well, there are many landmarks here, and this brief history of success of CESAR. And the award that we had, the innovation award, we had once. CESAR had twice already. So there are many projects, and the institution as a whole, they are really focused on this thought of innovation. And even their process for creating products, it's innovative. I worked there for 1 year. When I returned from Grenoble, I was a systems engineer for a year. And then after that period, I started in the university. So I usually say that it was a sort of industrial postdoc that I was doing there, even though I was working on projects that didn't have much with research. So these numbers, they're not pretty nice because I imported this in Keynote, so the formats of the slides, they got a bit messed up. But this is the growth of revenues, of sales actually, and the growth of employees. There are curves on these graphs. If you see in 2008, there was a decline because of the international crisis. So for instance, Motorola is also a partner of CESAR, and then they canceled part of their projects. And here there's this major decline because there were so many demands on software factories, like constructing software on demand, but it was not exactly the mission of CESAR, which is mostly focused on innovation. So they created a spin-off called Pitching, and this is why so many a big difference on employees here, but it's actually a spin-off of a company. And actually the number of the crisis that we had in the world is 2008, 2009. It was steady, the number of employees, but the revenues were lower. But it keeps growing, and today I'm not sure, but I guess it's on over 20 million euros. I'm not sure about the figures, but it's over 20 million euros, the annual revenue in projects. It may not be too much in Europe, but for Brazil, it's a lot of money for a company in a region which is the second poorest region in Brazil. So usually projects like this, they are performed by companies on the southeastern part of Brazil, which is where most of the money is held, like by it's the economical center. and industrial center. But it's a bit of a miracle what we did over there, because it's hard to make people believe that people from the Northeast, they can do smart things and nice things. So it's, I would say, I would compare with Belgium, for instance, as it's like Flanders and Wallonie. So we are Wallonie, we even worse than that. So as a proportion. Okay, so education, entrepreneurship, and engineering are the three pillars for CESAR, and we try to create things with a valuable return. Well, I say we, because I became an associate. So we have a board of I don't know how many. I guess 21 lecturers that are part. Well, I'm not sure if everyone is a lecturer, but well, 21 people that are members of the board. So I was, me and other 4 friends, we were invited in the end of last year, last year of 2014, to be part of the board. So now we're trying to make this link stronger between university and the institute. So innovation is one of the focus that CESAR has, and a important aspect is the multi-disciplinary team. I would say that it's quite unusual to have, for instance, anthropologists on an information technology company. So we have over there people that did anthropology, psychology. We have, I think, 3 psychologists. There are designers. Most of the things are focused on user-centered design, and people with entrepreneur background. So there are many fronts that of action that do different things, but focus on all on innovation. So there's one thing is that we don't know everything, but we go to university to get this exchange. It's there are many projects that have lecturers from the university as consultants on the projects, so they keep this cycle of bringing academia into the market. And there is a well, network of innovation, which CESAR is also part that's involved for with many industries called open innovation. There are many institutions that are part of that network. And as a client portfolio, there are many companies that have a significant impact on in the industry. Many of those you know. There's, for instance, HP Grenoble has projects with CESAR, which is, I think it's they're going like not very good here. I heard about 100 people that were fired last year, but oh, I hope they do well. And what we have is this network of customers that many of those became partners. There is a tablet computer by actually an e-reader by a bookstore called Saraiva in Brazil. So it was developed, the whole product for the ebook reader was conceived by the designers in partnership with the bookstore. So it came, I think, was 1 year that they took for developing this product. And there's even, I think, for the screen, that there's French technology embedded on it. That there's a company that's a partner also on that venture. But that CESAR is a partner on that particular project. But many of those are projects that are just the part of what we call ideation, like the part of conceiving products, but not executing the project. It's also done by the institute. Okay, so well, this doesn't help much. It's messed up also the organization, but most, well, the important thing is most of the customers, they are from electronics devices, and what I was talking about the innovation process is user-centered design. It's the whole process of studies and research, ideation, prototyping, and evaluation, not necessarily involving actual products. So there are labs that bring where we can bring the users and analyze their behavior when dealing with the product that's being conceived, and we can create, for instance, prototypes of low fidelity, for instance, like prototypes made by carton and paper for trying to illustrate a product. It's a cheaper way for doing prototypes instead of creating actual things. It's cheaper and faster, so you can get the impressions from the user with the sort of prototype. And the observation is done in labs where we can see how they deal with the interactions with the product. And the expertise, it's on many domains: digital TV, embedded systems, cloud computing, testing, and many domains. So this is a bit about CESAR, the Centro de Estudos Avançados do Recife. And we skipped to Porto Digital, which is a technological park that was formed, but it's composed by small and medium enterprises. It was created as an initiative from lecturers from the university with the local government. Same people that was involved with the creation of CESAR, they also were involved with the creation of this technological park. There is an incentive with taxes for lowering the tax that they have to pay. Is a special type of tax that makes interesting for some companies to be located on this technological park. It's specialized on ICTs and information and communication technology. And the initial investment was made by the International Development Bank and the local government. And it is located on this island, which is the Recife Antigo, is the old town of Recife. It was known in Brazilian history. This is known by the Dutch domination that lasted 29 years. So they created this part of the town. So there's still some of the Dutch buildings originally created on the 17th century. They're still there, and it's a natural port that composed by reefs. That's the name of the city, actually. Recife, it means reef in Portuguese. Oh, this is not original, though. They made it stronger, but it was a natural harbor. So what we see here in this picture, we don't see much, but if we see with the help of some tags, so we can see what we have here. It's this is a technological park. It's different from usual technological parks, which are built from scratch. This is a part of the city that has incentives from the government by means of taxes, and also infrastructure like fiber optics for connectivity. And it was a particular thing that it's weird, since it's a historical site. The excavations took really long for doing the fiber optics because they needed a archaeologist to do the excavation. So there's a part of the they found an old portal of the town that had to be isolated. So they had to make a detour of the cabling, and it's open. It's a big hole that it's surrounded by a glass wall, so you can see the old thing, the old portal that's there. And so there's this particularity of it took longer than it was supposed to take. And there's this the organisms that take care of public education and the science and technology office that takes care of the interests in the projects from the state of Pernambuc around that domain. The city hall is over there. It's the prefeitura, and CESAR is also there. It's a big, I think you can perhaps see here, it's a big orange warehouse, and perhaps not so clear on the back, but it's I guess one of the biggest buildings over there. And there's also two other buildings that hosts other people from CESAR. So this is the context. Not everything here it's IT, but there's a lot of IT here. It's an old part of the town. It's a pretty place, which is a touristic site, and also it also hosts carnival parties. If you go to Brazil, there's no. It's completely different from Rio. You have no idea about carnival from Recife. It's completely different. You should go there. You can be part of the party here. So you're invited for next year coming there. And this is a bit, well, the same picture that was used in a portal called, well, it's very known on Bloomberg Business, was talking about the research park of Porto Digital, the technological park, actually, just to give an impression that it's not only known over there, but all over the world. It's a model that it's discussed. Some cities try to replicate this model. Even in Brazil, some cities try to replicate this model, which has proved to be successful. And it's, I guess it was last year, the international conference on technological parks was held over there. So it was held inside the technological park. And okay, so we passed to the last big players that we are going to be talking about, INES and ISI. So I'm here because of the National Institute of Software Engineer, INES. It's the one who paid my air ticket to be here. And I'm also an affiliated researcher. And ISI, well, we call it in Portuguese EASY, is originated from that institute. So I'm going to explain a little bit the context. The ICT ecosystem I was talking about already. You already know about Porto Digital, and you know also about the Centro de Informática, and you also know about CESAR, which is the institute that was one of the main players for pushing the Porto Digital to happen. And there's also this institute, which I was talking about. It's a National Institute of Software Engineering. In 2008, if I'm not mistaken, in Brazil, they had a call for, instead of a call for projects, the government had a call for institutes. And there were 3 or 4 institutes in the computer science domain. This is one of those. And it was founded by 9 Northeastern universities. There's also other universities from the Southeast that are affiliated. And we had many PhDs that were funded by this program, a lot of research that was funded by this institute. It's a virtual institute. It doesn't exist physically. But we have a lab, but it's also a sort of virtual institution that gathers many researchers together. And its focus was on software engineering. And the CIn-UFPE, it's the National Service for Industrial Training. It focused on industry for making people capable of dealing with equipment, with processes and stuff like that for industrial plants, for industrial sites. And to have an idea about the importance of CIn-UFPE, here's where we can find offices of CIn-UFPE in Brazil. So it's pretty much all over Brazil, every state's covered. And just to understand the link between these two things, they have a program for innovation institutes, a national program for this sort of institutes, and the ISIs or EASYs, the Innovation Institutos Sinais de Inovação, they need to be specialized, each one on a certain domain. One of the centers was supposed to be focused on information and communication technologies. So one natural place to foster this activity would be Recife, which is, as I was explaining, a town that breathes this domain of knowledge, information and communication technology. So based on the precedent history of INES, the Institute for Software Engineering, This is sort of a materialization of this virtual institute as something that actually exists, as the information and telecommunication, the information communication technology innovation center for this industrial actor, which is CIn-UFPE. So the program for EASY, it has partnerships with MIT and Fraunhofer as collaboration partners, and the director, the scientific director of the actual executive director, it's a colleague, which is a Sergio Soares, is a lecturer. He was the coordinator of INES, so he became the director of the ICT, the EASY on ICTs, and the whole program for all the EASYs, it's about 1.5, 1.9, actually 1.9 billion reais, which is close to $1 billion, and not only for ICTs but for the whole program. And we have this this institute in our town, but it is not responsible for things that go on Recife only, but on the whole country. If anything goes on with any needs on CIn-UFPE's network for information and communication technology, so they're going to be contacting Recife for doing that. So it's for the whole Brazilian ecosystem. So this institute uses software engineering as a cross-cutting discipline for answering many needs. The idea is to have applied research on the industry domain, and based on a team of PhD students and developers, this team is still being formed with the collaboration of lecturers and researchers in the university. So I'm one of the collaborators with this institute, and we have well, a significant contribution with the local community, and there are many sectors that have to be well, I would say affected by this on this network of CIn-UFPE's network. The idea is to create intensive businesses focused on ICTs, and the TICs, well, ICTs for EASY are on many domains. Well, you see here, by no coincidence, smart cities as one of those, and public urban utilities, which are linked to smart cities, logistics and transportation, many domains that somehow they are linked to smart cities. Automotive, Fiat, or actually a Jeep, it's FCA, Fiat Chrysler Automotive. They have an innovation center in Recife as well, and one of the partners is CIn-UFPE also. So we're gonna soon have research on that domain going on. There are some projects being negotiated with CIN, well, with the whole ecosystem actually. It participates on this, so it's a pretty interesting ecosystem because many of the actors they collaborate together. So it's not a competition. So we try to create it. Not always possible, but we try to do this alone, not alone, but as a team. And there are other contexts, industrial contexts that are part of the strategy as well, but not as important as the other ones. And for this 8-year horizon, the institute is thinking about 100 to 150 jobs. Are going to be a building that's going to be constructed for holding this institute, and an expected revenue. But the thing is the focus for beginning with, and for instance, smart cities as one of the focuses on the beginning. There's an ongoing project already. I'm going to be talking soon on the other part that's going to be talking about these projects, and on different domains concerning smart infrastructure. But the message here is to build a national platform or local platforms for the entire sectors by means of software platforms. And for instance, things for urban automation, for acting with different domains, and other areas as well, like urban mobility, the Internet of Things, energy efficiency, and many other domains based on a common platform that not necessarily using the same instance, but at least the same technology. There's a focus on software-intensive activities, but not limited to that. And the major goal is to deliver a complete solution with these teams with the necessary expertise for conducting the projects. And this is the main actors of the ecosystem, but there are also local universities, as I was talking about. All of these universities, the public ones on the left side and private ones on the right side. These universities, they have computer science, information systems, computer engineer, undergraduate courses, and all of these people that come out from these universities, they mostly, most of them are going to work on this ecosystem. Just only to understand a causality relationship between these actors. We have on this dotted line the Porto Digital and well, many other companies that I wouldn't enumerate here. CESAR as one of the main ones that was originated by CIn. CIn was main actor, I would say, for creating these environments. And Inez and Sinai combined, they originated the EASY. So this is a bit of the context that we have over there. And just to understand a bit, I'm going to be talking about projects later that are going on with these institutions. But before, just to have a bit of context, the urban challenges we have in Recife, following this domain of smart cities. So the typical problem that we have, I was really proud to see here yesterday that we are 6th on the rank for traffic. So I'm just joking because no one likes this. And it's a typical problem that we have. The research that was shown yesterday was made by TomTom, the GPS manufacturer that uses actual data from people that uses TomTom. If you see scientifically, that we cannot say that it's reliable information because they didn't say how much people uses TomTom. Perhaps these people that use TomTom, they take the most congested ways, but well, we can simplify this because we have actual information on the and we know that it's like this, the traffic over there. So it's really annoying to be on cars in the morning and in the end of the afternoon. But we can build more roads, as you can see, and they're going to be occupied. So this is a natural process of, if you create more roads, people are going to see, oh, traffic's better, let's buy cars again. And they're going to repeat this cycle. But we can use public transportation, which is usually a good solution. As you can see, this is really helpful. This is in São Paulo, one of the main metro stations. And I don't have any pictures from the metro station from Recife, but I have from the public bus systems. This is a bit of the organization. But if you get impatient, you can try to jump into the buses. So I had to wait 5 buses one time, and it's a complete, it's mayhem. That you don't want to be there, so they don't respect it. There's a matter of education as well, and there are many challenges. Transportation is the thing that you can see, because when you go to the street, you see this problem. But in Brazil, there are many problems concerning all this speech behind smart cities, that cities are going to have more than 50% of the population. We already have that. There is, I don't know, 70%, 75% of the population of cities, the population of Brazil, it's living in urban areas. So we already have this problem. We have problems with water, that the bursts, pipes burst, and we can't find the origin, only when it happens like this. So you can see where's the problem. Energy, because we depend on energy from rivers, as hydroelectric. We say that in English. Okay, so that's what we depend on. And if it doesn't rain enough, we have too much energy. So we need more alternatives and clean alternatives. Problems with education, as many people know already from developing countries. We have problems on that matter. Managing waste, problem with health, and security as well. And security is a problem. really because of, well, education is pretty much related to that. We can see, for instance, it's a city of contrast. Recife, we have this pretty place here by the beach. You can live there, but this is middle class. Like Bernadette lives here in a nice place by the beach. And you see the contrast here. This is the continuation at the end, and you see these slums, which is right next to these buildings. And if you analyze closer, you see more and more slums like that. So technology is important, but we have many social problems like that. So technology can also help us to identify issues, or even things without technology we can use on this matter for making our cities smarter, I would say, in Brazil. Things like this that happen, that it's not a pretty thing to see, but usually when we go to developing countries, we are ashamed of this, but I'm not. I talk about the good things and the bad things as well, and we need to solve these problems. It's pretty hard. There are also intermediary things, not that poor, not that rich. This is where I come from. It's sort of a slum, but it's middle class, but it's sort of mixed. It's like a ghetto, but this is where I grew up. So there's people that have access to technology. There's people that don't have access to technology. There's people that have access to crime. There's people that doesn't have access to crime. So there is many facets on these towns. Like there's on developed countries, you have middle class is pretty much big. So in our country, it's a bit different. So it's not that big. We have a lower class that's really the most part of the population, and a lot of exploitation of, or I would say, real estate speculation. For instance, there's this problem. The city is becoming smarter in many ways, and for discussing the city we want to live. This is a public matter that happened in Recife last year. This is like a sort of a postcard in the city. It's a historical site. It's abandoned. These are warehouses that are abandoned. No one wants to do anything, but by making an illegal purchase, a group of investors bought this area of these warehouses. They want to build. They want to build this new park. It's not a park, but it's a set of buildings focused on people with money for creating business centers and residences for the rich. And this is the current skyline. You see the tallest buildings are those that are behind, actually. So they're going to be changing the site, and also creating, they allege that this is an abandoned place. They want to put more segregation on this instead of creating public places. When I lived in Grenoble, I used to receive on the mailbox the invitations for discussing the projects for the city. So we don't have this there. So a group of people that wanted to discuss, they invaded this place. These are people from the middle class. They want a better city, so they do like sort of Occupy movement over there. So this is an issue of becoming smarter in different ways. And technology was the main, I would say, engine for this happening, because they use social networks to get connected and to do this. So they changed that. This project's been negotiated and replanned. It was replanned twice, and they're still discussing this. But thanks to technology, nothing advanced was social networks, and people engaged. They did this change. So this is probably going to change a lot. And there are many things about urban planning related to smart cities. We had that project. This is the arena that held games, matches for the World Cup in Recife. And this was a project that was supposed to happen for a smart city like New Songdo or Mazur City that were presented here yesterday. It was a similar thing, but after the World Cup ended, and a lot of corruption for projects that were over, the price was over like twice the actual price that it cost. It was canceled. This project was canceled just, I think this year, or it's already canceled. and it's really sad. But what I'm trying to say here is that trying to make a point is this is one of the visions from IBM of Smart City. It's not only about technology. So there's social programs, healthcare, education, transportation, smarter buildings, urban planning. So there are many things that technology is just one of the aspects. So perhaps we need sometimes to see through these lenses and see what actually are the needs of your city to become a smart city. For instance, when I come to Grenoble, well, when I came here, I said, this is an already smart city, because you know on the tram stop or on the bus stop, what's the time of the next public transportation that's going to be coming. We had problems doing that because of the companies. Well, today we have a good system for that. But companies didn't want to release their timetables because they wouldn't have to pay fines and stuff like that. The roads are good, the sidewalks are good. So this, for me, this is smart. And my city is very, very dumb in that aspect. So, well, we need to work on that. But technology can be a key tool for that. I'm going to be showing one of the tools that was developed in Recife for that. There are other aspects. This is a vision from the European Union, also illustrating different aspects, not limited to technology. This is other view also from Europe, from different mobility and well, I guess it's ICTs. There it is. It's one of the aspects as a big picture. You see, this is just one of the aspects. So I see as a big challenge how technology can improve the lives of people in cities. This is one of the major things that we want to address and discuss and involve. Actually, I'm particularly interested on information technology, but I would like to see from that other point of view and to have this information from other people. And it's one thing we have to keep in mind, that this is not all about technology. I was discussing with a friend that works here. He's saying that his view of smart cities before was just sensors and analyzing sensor data, but it's not only that, just one part of it. If we use only sensors and data to analyze, we're gonna end up with things like this, which is pretty nice. They have in Rio, like many integrated systems. I spoke to people from IBM that they were one of the partners for creating this, and they said that many of the things worked. Some of the things they created did not work. Even systems created from scratch were not successful here. The integration didn't work as well. They had many problems with people, integrating people from different departments of the city. We're gonna end up like this. This is a panopticon, which is a device for surveillance on how, I don't know how do you say for if it's correct, a man house, like where you host people with mental problems, and also for prisons. This is a sort of that didn't work. The focus was on surveillance of the people that was incarcerated on these places. So we're gonna end up with things like this only with command and control. We wanna do surveillance, but we need to involve people on this process and empower people as well, like using technology on that aspect, not only for command and control. And so following this idea, now the last half hour, the next half hour, I'm going to be talking about the projects that are going on in Recife. And this is one of the companies that do smart cities. They're one of our partners. They just part of their company is held in Porto Digital. So this company is focused on mobility, convenience, and safety, as they say. It's providing innovative technological solutions. They focus on smart cities. So I'm going to show some of the products that we have access to their data. But I'm not trying to sell their products. I'm not just showing their products, and we have access to the board of directors that they are partners on different projects, and we can propose projects and use their data on our projects. They're, for instance, responsible for traffic light management. They build traffic lights and they control traffic lights in Recife. It's a company that its headquarters is in Recife, but they also take care of Buenos Aires and São Paulo, for instance, the traffic light networks. No, they do traffic educations, perhaps not very interesting for us, but they put people on the streets for helping drivers to obey the laws. It's really weird, but they do that. It's a matter of cultural problems. They have electronic monitoring that they can scan the license plates and check if there are any fines on the car, of the taxes are paid. So we can have access to this information on the flow of vehicles and what vehicles I'm going through through a certain a street. Because of the cameras, they're able to scan the vehicles, most of the vehicles that pass. They have online public parking management. For instance, this one's based on cameras. They analyze the empty spots. So they also have data on the usage of real-time data as well on the usage of the parking space, and apps for that, so they can identify on real time where you can find empty spots for parking your car. The equivalent of Velib in Brazil is made by this company. They are in, I don't know, more than 10 cities. It's based on an app for releasing the device. And so what you do is you don't interact with there's a minimal equipment here. There's only one display saying if it's working or not, and LEDs, red and green, to say if the thing work or not. And with your smartphone, you can release the lock here. You contact the server, which sends a command to this to the rack, so we can release the bike. So we can have access to information on the usage of the bikes. They don't have anything for tracking, for instance, the way you take with the bike, but we already proposed a sort of app that can see what's the usual path the bikers take. So we could, for instance, suggest bike stations on certain places based on this usage. But we only have where you can take your bike and when you drop the bike. But this information you can use. There's I don't know how much information they have on a daily basis, but it's not. I wouldn't say that's big data. It's not that big, but it's interesting data for analysis. They have toll collection systems with RFID. Well, this is data we can also negotiate with them. I enumerated. I put some bullets with the data that they mentioned to me. But there's this whole. This is a branch of the company that takes care of all of the equipment and that's related to mobility. And there is also the concept they're putting in place there, the car sharing. It's an electric car, and they have an app also for that, so they can provide data. But there's not much data on this. You can analyze with spreadsheets because there are only, I think, 3 or 4 cars. And it's restricted to not many people. It's a pilot project for sharing cars. And a interesting point is sharing cars here. It's like sharing. You can give a ride also. You can if you cannot take the car, you can ask for a ride. So it's an interesting aspect that they're exploring here. But they're focused on these aspects. They have clients in many cities. So we can surely have access to Recife data, and the other cities we can negotiate with them as long as data keeps private without identifying the users. And one example they have is the smart city platform at the Porto Digital. They have a partnership. So now you understand a bit. So that's why I was speaking about the ecosystem. So here at the Porto Digital, we have many of these equipments, and there are 4 bridges that give access to the island. All of these 4 bridges, they have cameras where you can scan the cars that enter the city. And when the car leaves, it tries to pair if the entrance of the car, so they can calculate the average speed. Oh, it's indeed dumb if you stay there for parking for a whole day of work, but this is not considered on their statistics. They have a range that they consider, but they can give the average speed based on that. And there are many others, other equipments based on the what was shown before that are located on this on the island of the Recife Antigo, where is the Porto Digital. And the data that we can have access, as we already spoke to them, so bicycle trips, parking data, for instance, idle or used parking spots, and the location of these parking spots, street traffic, occupation. They have sensors on the roads to measure the occupation, count and speed of vehicles, vehicle flow that are individually identified by the cameras, by the license plate. So again, if we use this sort of data in any possible project, this should be anonymized. We won't even have access to that, though. So the data extraction needs to take that into account for them. And what we can do is use existing data or propose new projects in the smart cities domain. So usually when we participate on calls on European projects, we involve them as partners. So this contact is very important for projects that we need industrial collaboration. So this is a good partner for this sort of projects. Specifically, the EASY, the institute that I was talking about, the Instituto Senai de Inovação, we had a project that I can't talk much about because we signed an NDA on that. It's called Onda Verde, or Green Wave. It's a way to provide, this is just a prototype screen. We didn't make the product. It was only I was involved in this project. And it's the first project from EASY that was finished. It was finished last month. We're just doing a technology transfer now. It's for having on your smartphone the synchronization with the traffic light. So at the same time it turns green or red, you're going to be seeing this on your smartphone. So for instance, at night, it's really dangerous to drive in Recife. So if it's a technique already, many people know. So you slow down when the light is red, and you wait. You're far from the light, and so when it turns green, you can accelerate and pass the traffic light. So with the app, you can see in how many seconds this is going to happen, for instance. So it's very useful on that context. But the idea is to have a green wave, so you can take the like a wave of green lights, and you can surf on a wave, and hopefully avoid traffic or save gas. But there are papers on that actually. Well, so this is one of the projects. Another one, it's with which involved as well. The institute also with, as you see, I was explaining the ecosystem. Here are 3 actors from the ecosystem, and this one is a company that does they build games, and they are located in Porto Digital. So you already know about the ecosystem. And this is National Institute of Environmental, Spatial Research. They do climate monitoring, and we want to create a sort of crowd sensing platform or application that would validate the weather forecast. So weather forecast is usually a thing that's the technology they use. They give a forecast for the whole city, but sometimes you have neighborhoods where it is not raining, or there are not many clouds. So we want just to validate this to see did it actually rain, or is it raining in your neighborhood? So we want to stimulate the users to provide that information so we can validate and tune the algorithms that do the weather forecast. So we need that information from people to help us in this process. And the way to stimulate this is to do gamified approach. I think many of you heard about gamification, which is using a gaming mechanism to stimulate people to interact with systems. So I won't get into too much detail on this, but I guess you get the idea. So the concepts do crowdsourcing on this sort of verification or validation of information, and this is actually why this company is involved. So they know about gaming, so they're gonna help us on that context. And the concept is a mobile app based on references such as Foursquare and weights, which stimulate the user to provide information. There are similar apps for weather forecasts, but they don't involve the user for saying what's happening actually. And the proposed app, this is just a sketch, it's a prototype that's being implemented. We have not much functionality currently. And data comes from the official climate agent, and the proposed app would capture the information. You could even send, for instance, a picture of the sky, so we can make a wall of photos with real-time data. And this is well, a bit of the perspective of what I was talking about. And we would create profiles, for instance, law of the rain or whatever. I'm not, there you go. Weather wizard, weather mayor. Where's my weather also motivating with gaming mechanisms, and badges for users to provide information. So this is one of the purposes of this this project, which is related to climate monitoring. Some projects that are conducted at CESAR. This is one to provide infrastructure for economically less economically attractive regions. I was talking about the problems, social problems in Brazil. So we need to give these people also access to information, access to technology. So this project is related to a low-cost Wi-Fi infrastructure. There is this, which is mostly related to the field, but the focus is to use internet. Well, one of the technological backgrounds here is to use Internet of Things technology to gather information, real-time information on the fields. So the thing is to save water for irrigation. Depending on the climate conditions and depending on the soil and the type of culture that you have in the soil, you should change the way you irrigate the field. And by having this deployed on actual fields, plantation fields, we can have sensors that monitor this and use Internet of Things middleware for mediating the data. This is one of the projects they have. This is the only product actually developed by CESAR by its own. It's a product that it's the only product it's sold actually. The rest of it are projects with the customers. There's a smart metering protocol that there is a standard in Brazil for smart metering on the smart grid going from the bottom up. So we can by remote locations using the internet, using IP technology, access the smart meter. This has a particular appeal in Brazil, is to avoid, because the guy needs to go there and read and write on a piece of paper the reading that so you can charge the customer next month. There's a problem of violence. There's some communities that you go and the guy that takes notes, he can be robbed or can get beaten and stuff like that. So we can avoid this sort of problem by doing this. There are other problems, but well, one of the motivations is this one, and real-time information on consumption. So the protocol that makes the national standard was the application level on the stack was specified by CESAR, and there are pilot projects that validated that. Okay, and there's an IoT platform for communication among devices. The thing is not to create it from scratch. It's an extension of the Octoblue platform for data mediation on this context of Internet of Things, and to be incorporated in some of the products as the irrigation monitor I was mentioning before. We also have on the line of smart cities the work that Bernadette did with the city of Recife and the IT company from the city. The Open Data Portal, which makes available data from the city, so you can empower the citizens to and know what's going on with the town, having access to raw data and creating their own apps. So we signed an agreement, cooperation agreement between these. Well, again, you see the ecosystem that I was talking about. There's Centro de Informática, CESAR and Porto Digital that were part of this agreement. So we wanted to stimulate. So I was one of the persons involved on this. We had a hackathon using the data from the Open Data Portal. It was a hackathon on the campus party. Well, it's a geek event. I don't know if do you guys know who knows campus party here? No, no one knows. I'm gonna show pictures of campus party. You're gonna see. It's I guess people from computer science would love it. Most of them like to go there. There was a longer format, 6 months. This was a 5-day hackathon. We have 56 competitors, but only 27 finished on different domains that use this data for creating their projects. And this year at Campus Party Recife, the main theme is going to be smart cities. So we're going to have a lot of discussion and activities on that context. Campus Party, because it's an actual campus, you go there and you can camp and stay there and have high-speed connection to the internet, so you can play, download movies, or hack and develop things. It's simultaneous. There are simultaneous talks, and I'm involved with the smart cities content that and discussions that we have here. It's an event that was started in Spain, and they have in many countries, in Colombia and Mexico and Germany, many countries. And well, this is a bit well, the place that we had the hackathons previously shown. And Inés has the smart cities domain, or the motivation as its main line of research. I would think not exactly line of research, but the thing that binds the many lines of research that are involved with the institute. The first edition in 2008 had many disconnected projects. It was even difficult to present the results, which are important to be shown. So for the second version, as I was saying, it's a virtual institute. So we have submitted the renewal of the funds for this institute. We're going to have smart cities as a common ground for many projects. It's focused on software engineering, the ES here, but we expanded to distributed systems and databases for big data, for instance, which is all of them need software engineering tools and techniques and processes. So we are going to be developing a common platform for mediating and sharing data on a smart city and constructing services based on that shared data. One of our goals is the creation of an ecosystem for service-based solutions. So you can, for instance, use this on your town and create services based on the information that's shared on this platform. We only got regional funds, which is not much so far, only enough for 2 students during 4 years. But we are waiting for some equipment here. We are waiting for results, but since Brazil is going under an economic crisis, we don't know if we're going to have that money. Well, first of all, we know if the project is going to be approved, and second of all, we don't know if they're going to have money if we get approved. So this is a bit of the the big picture of this platform. It's nothing new, nothing. There's no innovation here. There are many challenges on these different boxes here that we can expand and get into detail, but it won't be the case here. Creating applications for sharing information and also getting information from this common infrastructure, storing data, having real-time information, storing data, and doing an analysis on this, which is a bit of what Bernadette's going to be talking on the next talk. We have an envisioned ecosystem as well, a service platform, that big picture there, that can be fed by government data, for instance, data from other applications from society that could use applications constructed on that, and having academic projects on that as well. So sharing a common infrastructure for creating services for public usage, and funding agencies, stimulating the market for creating solutions that can monetize on that, and also getting money from government for doing this bridge with the startup community. We had a pilot project. This is weird picture if I don't explain it to you. These are the bikes that I was showing, the shared bikes. They have changed a bit the culture of Recife, that there's a fever that every Sunday or holiday they have these the bike lanes that are temporary, so people get the opportunity to safely use their bikes. But this is a phenomenon that happens on Sundays and holidays. They don't use bikes as transportation. Well, I say them because I haven't bought. I used to be a biker here when I lived in Grenoble, but I don't have the courage to use bikes over there because the drivers are really responsible in that aspect. Most of them don't respect bikes, so I'm afraid of the cars. So this happens on Sundays, and there are many accidents with bikes crashing other bikes. And so the pilots just based on that to use a system that would use that common infrastructure for sending data from your mobile phone, an application sending data. And many people with that application installed, we can map the proximity if you're getting close to other bikes. And if you have risk, for instance, getting too close to a group, and you can also, through a web interface, mark points that are dangerous or well, actually, currently this is something that you inform statically. You inform manually, but it could be a dynamic change according to other events. But you inform points of accidents, and you could also have intelligence of inferring the points of congestion. But the idea is to have users as sensors with their smartphones and feeding continuously a backend infrastructure that would analyze data in real time and notify if you're getting too close to a point that is dangerous or too close to many other bikers, so you can get a bit more of a distance. So the proof of concept used that crowd sense data, real-time processing data, asynchronous notifications of events to clients thanks to complex event processing. So all of that was made with off-the-shelf components for this 0.1 version, I would say, of the platform. The idea is to perhaps use existing platforms such as Firewire, which is originated from many European projects. And we are currently analyzing if it's worth it to extend and complement such platforms instead of creating one from scratch, since there are so many for sharing data on that on the same fashion. So other initiatives that are going on. This is a company of people from Recife called Collab. They were inspired on Boston's City Connect application, which allows citizens to inform if there are potholes, like holes on the streets, if there are there are trees that are falling that need to be cut, or if there is a public light that's not working. So this is sort of a social network that was inspired on that approach. They make the bridge between citizen and public and the cities, the public institutions. This is an example of the application. You can inform like illegal parking or the sidewalk that it's inappropriate, and you can report this, and the city can take action if they acknowledge this as a system for them. So they are being they got a prize in 2013 called App My City. Was a world prize on best urban app, and it's used officially by many cities. So it doesn't work if you complain, but your city doesn't take that complaint and do something. So some cities like Curitiba and Niterói, they use this, and Teresina, though different cities from different regions, they use this so they acknowledge the user's complaint. So their model, their business model actually is based on the charging the cities for the usage. It's free for citizens. So more than 50,000 citizens as users. Why am I talking about them? Well, I'm really proud of them because they're from my city, but they are potential collaborators. I'm going to have a meeting with them next week about an algorithm for contextual users feed. So based on their preferences, location, and many other attributes, they can have a different feed, a sort of a Facebook style that changes from user to user. And the analysis of data, they have a lot of data that can be analyzed. So I'm going to have a meeting with them for possible collaborations on research. Since, as I was saying, things for the market, from the market, they need to have this interaction with the academia, and academia needs to have this interaction with the market. So this is one of the examples. This is an interesting one that's called Recife, the Playable City. It was done with Watershed Institute from the UK. It was, you already know this island, it's called, what's it called? You guys didn't pay attention to the presentation. Porto Digital. And this involved many institutions, CESAR and some researchers from Centro de Informática also were there. These were urban interventions, people from many disciplines that they didn't worry about a smart city. They wanted to be, to make a playable city, a ludic experience, creating interactions between people and the city. So interesting things like a boat with lights, a hand that where touch, it plays music, things with augmented reality, a garbage can that plays music, and a bus stop that plays music as well. So the idea was to 3D views of the city. The idea was to create such experience for making the city fun and trying to connect the urban space with the citizens. Not exactly a smart city, but it's a fun city. So it's a nice initiative that was held there. And the next step for us is creating a living lab, which is a concept that's a bit fuzzy. There are many living labs in Europe. It's a sort of lab that includes users as part of the process, the creative process for creating products. In an interdisciplinary approach, we are about to submit a project that involves designers, architects, psychologists, journalists, and people from IT. Well, I didn't put, since we are already IT people, and I'm not interested in bringing them here because they are already here, with many institutions involved. And this will be an umbrella initiative for developing things focused on local problems. CESAR has an idea of a city observatory for understanding problems from cities and trying to provide solutions for actual things, actual problems, actual needs, instead of thinking of things that we suppose that are necessary. And we also are going to foster the exploitation of open data for empowering citizens for creating their own apps, for instance, simulating hackathons, local hackathons in universities and communities, and also creating this bridge that I was saying between academia and the reward the citizens. So this is about it, about what I wanted to present you. So as main challenges here, I would identify some things such as identify the priority domains, understanding the needs of the city before we provide solutions, aligning the diverse agendas of the institutions that are involved, so everyone gets happy. So if it's not every time that you can make everyone happy. So sometimes you need to make separate things, and the risk of doing separate things, it's duplicated efforts. It's a bit what I'm trying to avoid with CESAR and the project Feminist, platforms that want to share things, share data. And so if you want to do the same effort on different labs, but on the same city. Perhaps we can same thing. Uh, and making research relevant to society's actual problems. This is really hard, and this is something I would like to pursue throughout my career. It's like doing relevant stuff for actual problems. It's not easy. I'm not even close to that, but I'm gonna keep trying. So this is the message, and we're eager to contribute together with the groups here. And I hope everyone has enjoyed the presentation. I hope you guys go to Recife to Carnival. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We have room
Questions?
for some questions. I have a question. Well, I have questions, but I want to monopolize the room. First of all, in order to understand well, Ines and CESAR would be the same type of action, of
The same type of action?
the same type of infrastructure, or not?
Well, they're really focused on Internet of Things, the platform they need, and they're creating. We want more flexible stuff. For instance, one thing that we are doing is like a flexible data model that we want. They're focused on very strict things for sensor data.
Okay.
It's more closer to what was presented yesterday.
Okay. Yes, with respect to living labs, as you know, there's an action in the European Union concerning living labs. Is there an equivalent in Brazil, or the idea of a living lab is just a way to organize an action? Could be a way to organize an action with Brazil.
The Living Lab, we want, there's a way to organize an action. There's no network as it exists in Europe. There are Nokia's, but since Finland has a culture of living labs, Nokia has, well, I've read in the press, but I never visited. They have living labs over there. There is one focused on smart grids, but I never heard of anything concrete on that. And we, by the way, we're gonna, if the strikes of the airport syndicate there, if it doesn't make our flight to get late, we're gonna be visiting Lisbon tomorrow. Their living lab, but one of the living labs, the one that has partnership with the
because
city
there's
hall.
one kind of living lab here in the CESAR de Bon.
Oh, okay.
The idea is to have CO2 respective place, and well, the action is concerned also with the smart energy. And,
that's interesting.
It's
do you have the context on?
We have a project in our group that is related to this. We concentrate on smart grid, and the idea is to have a kind of platform that will integrate smart meters. And
oh, that's interesting.
And but anyway, if you could have a look,
yeah,
here,
well, I want to.
It's a nice way of seeing how it goes, and it's a very important action here in Grenoble. So this could be for contact point with.
That's really I'm interested in that. Thanks.
You're doing. And yes, well, you said that you would be interested in establishing collaboration with, I mean, in general, I suppose that with France, particularly with Grenoble, which would be the tools in Brazil that could let this happen?
The tools, I mean, like legal agreements?
I mean, like agreements, like, I don't know, having I could imagine like the institutes, but Franco-Brazilian Institute on smart cities, for instance. I'm just
yeah, we could find a format on that.
And this happens with which institutions in Brazil? I mean, how?
Actually, well, our university has they called an antenne, the University of Toulouse. So it was a thing that involved the whole university. So we would be seeking for something with the our center,
Yes.
which is usually what we do with institutions. It doesn't. I guess it's not an obstacle. They have that for collaborating because they also have an agreement with Clermont-Ferrand, I think.
Yeah. There's here an action, it's a GDR, international, that is connected with Brazil. I don't know which institutions are there, but well, the idea might be to have, to integrate these existing actions in a whole or have a parallel one. This could be a possibility.
Okay.
Okay.
Questions?
And then, oh yes, with respect to the bikes,
Yeah.
do you know the Norway wheel?
Copenhagen will.
See, Copenhagen wheel.
That generates energy.
Yes, and that generates information.
Oh no, I don't know details about that.
So it makes your bicycle intelligent. So
okay.
if it's going up, then it activates something so that you do not do much effort for going up, etc. And since it's connected, so you can it can provide information on the way
path you're taking,
taking,
oh, cool.
And you can Facebook and Twitter and so on with. Maybe that would be a way of tracking the bike.
No, I even proposed to them, since they already use an app for that, would just embed.
Yes, I mean, like
it would be cheaper
because
that bike it's already very expensive. It's 1,000 reais.
Yes,
it makes
or
200,
another
300.
thing would be that using the mobile device, you could know. You could have a kind of intelligent bike by just knowing through the device that the angle that you are taking.
Okay. So they can improve the usage of the engine.
Since you are already using the.
No, yeah, but it's since the app is it's already in use, so it would become a sort of
and cheaper than having the.
But it's an interesting idea.
Okay.
All right, thanks. So I invite whoever wants to taste the bordijolo, which is a delicacy from Pernambuco.
And we can take it to coffee break, and so that we can taste it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So we have a few minutes for coffee, and we should be back here at 10:45. A little bit short.